Do you ever feel like you're falling behind while others get ahead? For years, I felt the same way until I discovered three strategies that really helped me get ahead in my field. Now, most people struggle to make progress because they're working hard in all of the wrong ways, making success feel impossible to reach at times. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how to lean into your strengths, leverage your weaknesses, and to start working smarter, making your path to success bigger, easier, and hopefully safer. So, how do you actually leverage your talents to outwork your competition? Well, let's think back to season 1 of Blue Lock, specifically in the first selection. The Ego challenged each player to discover their unique weapon, their innate talent, and to hone it so they can get ahead of their competition. Bachira's incredible dribbling, Nagi's amazing trapping, and Isagi's exceptional spatial awareness each became powerful tools for each of the players. Now, the players who discovered and honed their talents pretty quickly surpassed those who didn't, moving closer to the dream of becoming the world's greatest striker. But how can we translate this to our own lives? Well, first, let's take about 10 minutes to list out things that you're naturally great at, or you just genuinely enjoy doing. And if you get stuck, try to recall times when you were completely absorbed in an activity or that you received praise for your hard work. Next, I want you to identify your top strengths from this list. You can use a simple tool like the VIA Character Strengths Survey, which is free online, which helps pinpoint your strongest natural tendencies quickly and easily. And finally, pick one task today and then deliberately apply one of your core strengths to it. For instance, if you're a natural analytical type of person like me, then breaking down a big project like, writing a 10-page paper or something into smaller, manageable chunks, such as just writing 1 page a day. This is going to make a huge difference in you getting closer to your goal. And now that you've learned how to leverage your natural strengths, let me show you how you can turn your weaknesses into some surprising advantages too. Now, normally we look at our weaknesses as something that makes us undesirable or, less than. But what if that didn't have to be the case? To understand what I mean, let's look at Osamu Mikumo, the main character from an anime called World Trigger. Now, Osamu isn't your typical hero. He's honestly usually the weakest person on the screen, and all of his enemies know it. And this weakness comes from having extremely low amounts of Tryon, the energy source that characters use for battle. But because of this, Osamu can't fight long battles or cause direct damage, which is pretty sad. But here's the twist. Osamu is incredibly observant and pretty strategic too. He learned to use his apparent weakness as an advantage by setting up these clever traps and strategies, and his enemies underestimate him, allowing his plans to succeed because they don't see him as a threat. So, how can you flip your weaknesses into assets just like Osamu? Well, first, clearly identify these traits that you view as weaknesses. These might be qualities that you think hold you back or that you really just don't really care for. For example, my own weaknesses often include my short temper. Next, I want you to reframe these weaknesses in a positive light. For each trait, ask yourself, in what situation could this actually become useful? For me, personally, I reframe my temper as something that is passionate and that helps me drive forward. Instead of trying to suppress my emotions, I channel that energy into some motivation. Finally, try putting this reframing into practice today. If anxiety is your weakness, try using it proactively. Maybe you could channel that nervous energy into detailed planning or organizing your space, so that way you feel more in control of what's going on around you. Now, the truth is, every single weakness can become an advantage if you learn to leverage it smartly. You might feel unstoppable after discovering your strengths and reframing your weaknesses, but all that energy could easily go to waste if you don't approach your work strategically. See what I mean? Let's look at Shikamaru Nara from Naruto. Shikamaru was probably the laziest ninja you'll ever meet. As a kid, he constantly tried to avoid fights, homework, and other responsibilities. And then when enemies invaded his village, he even pretended to be asleep under a genjutsu just to avoid fighting. But beneath this lazy exterior, Shikamaru embodies the principle of working smarter, not harder. He uses his pretty brilliant mind to craft strategies his opponents never see coming, always choosing the most efficient path to victory. So, how can you become a Shikamaru in your own life, working smarter instead of harder? Well, first, prioritize your tasks. At the start of each day, write down everything you need to do, and then rank these tasks based on how critical or important that they are to achieving your main goal. Just focus on the first top one or two, and everything else can honestly just wait. Second, use something called time blocking. Schedule specific windows of time to tackle your most important tasks. Ideally, when your energy levels are pretty naturally high. For example, if you're a morning person, schedule your most challenging tasks for the morning, and then protect this dedicated time like your life depends on it. Third, I want you to eliminate distractions intentionally. Now, this step can be a little challenging, but the key here is to be intentional about it. So turn off notifications, set clear boundaries with the people around you, and commit to being disciplined with your time. And then finally, I want you to review and adjust regularly. At the end of each week, take a few minutes to just reflect on your progress, identify what's working, pinpoint what's not, and adjust your strategy accordingly for the upcoming week. Now, by working smarter and more strategically, you'll ensure your strengths and even your weaknesses are put to their best possible use. But there's still one more obstacle standing in your way. None of this matters unless you're ready to put it into action. So, if you're ready to unlock your full potential, then click on over to the next video right now, where I'll show you exactly how to stop wasting your talent and finally start achieving the results that you've always wanted.